Hello, my stamping friends. This is Renee Novak at blessedbycards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm here today to share with you a weekly Wednesday tutorial. Today, I'm going to share with you the technique called the torn window technique. So this is really a fun technique that you can use with designer series paper where you tear it away and roll it back to create a window. And this is one of the cards that I created using that technique. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of cardstock, and then you're going to need a piece of designer series paper. Now I've chosen this one, and I have created a template. And the template that I've created is just a sample where you can tear and then roll back the piece of paper. And that is what the technique is. And it just made it a little easier for me. So I cut my template the same size as my designer series paper. I kind of laid it on there, and then I did a simple tear. And you want to tear it just, with your fingers pretty close so it doesn't get a huge rip. And then another tight tear down where your template stops. Okay, and so then that's all it is. And you have this torn piece of paper. Now, what makes it a little easier for me is just to rip off a little bit of this paper, and that way you don't have as much bulk. Another thing you can do is you can take your bone folder, and I didn't bring mine up with me today, but you can take your bone folder and you can kind of roll it so that the paper will begin to roll easier. I'm taking just a crochet hook, and all you do is just roll it onto that hook. You just want to get it started so that you can kind of roll that back. So hopefully you can see that I'm just kind of pushing it around that crochet hook, and anything will work. And then you just kind of roll it back. And sometimes it's easier if you lay it down because you can kind of roll it, get it started, and then it just rolls. And you've already torn, so you don't have to worry about it. And when it gets to the end, right where you've done torn, it's finished. Then what I do is I just take a glue dot, and I pull a mini glue dot off and just secure that roll down. It just makes it a little easier. Now I will say, if you're mailing this, it's a little bit bulky. You might want to flatten out your rolls some, and then it might go through the mail. Might want to reserve this type of a card for hand delivery. So I'm going to take another glue dot for the other side. Maybe if I can get that out of here. All thumbs today. All right, there it is. Grab that glue dot. Maybe. Goodness. Okay, grab that glue dot. Stick it on this side, and then I have a glue dot on each side, and then you can take your whatever you rolled it up with that, and then all you have to do is decide if you want the greeting to go this way or if you want it to go this way. So I'm just going to grab my glue and put some glue on there, and I'm just going to glue that down on top. I'm going to flip that over, and I'm just going to glue that right down. Let's do this way because I think the flowers have a little glue there. The flowers are going, we want the flowers to be straight up. So if you have a directional paper, it might matter. So I'll get that off with my, I didn't bring my adhesive eraser, but I'll do that later. Okay, and then next thing, all you have left to do is your greeting. And we're going to do the happy birthday from Unbounded Love, and I just stamping that straight down in black. And that's how super simple that technique is, and that is called the torn window technique. Here's another sample that I created. You can put it on white cardstock, colored cardstock. This sample, I actually use the cardstock to roll instead of the designer series paper. And I used a blending brush to add some Pretty in Pink. I stamped the butterflies from Beautiful Butterflies in Pretty in Pink. And then I just did a little blending right on top of the greeting. So that is how super simple this technique is. And again, this is called the torn window technique. And so I hope you give it a try. And that is all I have for my Weekly Wednesday for today. So be sure to hop on over to my blog for a list of all the supplies and measurements. And you can create your template for whatever size card that you are creating. So thanks for watching, and until next time, be blessed.